Hi guys, Leah here. I thought I'd do a little video because I haven't done one in forever and I've gotten really into just jumping on YouTube again and watching everyone else. Anyone on the Hermit's Cave Facebook page would have seen that I went on a little adventure the other day. It was amazing. And yeah, so for anybody who didn't see that, when I was about 12, my family moved into a new house, and as my mom was unpacking, she was like trying to send us all out. So she was like, go out, explore the area, to me and my brothers, and I kind of like broke away. I was like, I'm going this way, get away from me, because nobody wants to hang out with their little brothers. And I went just down our street to the end. I found a £10 note on my way. Which I didn't see anyone around, so I kept it because I was 12 and I didn't ever have £10, so I had £10. And at the end of that street I found a shop called Aristia. And Aristia is a metaphysical store that has a lot of crystals and incense and tarot decks and books on every part of spirituality you could possibly imagine. Special boxes, I've got a few carved wooden boxes from there, just lots of things like that. And I can remember going there and thinking, oh, magic's real. Or this is real, this isn't just the stuff that you see in movies and all that kind of thing. And I was just overwhelmed with excitement, and I bought a book and a candle and, you know, the usual things. And I remember thinking, I'm never gonna have, because I bought like I think it was a book on Wicca, and it was about, and it had like how to begin like witchcraft, and it had like all the tools that you could need and setting up an altar and all candles and different colours of candles and different herbs and correspondences and crystals, and it told you, you know, you could do all these things with all these different things. And I remember being slightly overwhelmed because I hadn't wanted anything as much as I wanted all those things to be able to start my craft. And yeah, I remember thinking, I'm never gonna have all these things. How am I gonna, it's gonna be such a long time, and will I still be interested? Because trust me, I go from being interested in, hold on a minute, my phone's doing a weird thing, being interested in one thing to being interested in another thing, and I jump back and forth, but this is stuck. So luckily after that, I would go there weekly or every fortnight with my pocket money, although that was when I went with money. The rest of the time I would just go in and look at the things I wanted to get, and they got so used to me just like kind of wandering around like, I want all the things, and I'd buy little crystals to start me off and things like that. So yeah, I loved that shop. And as I got older, anytime I had some spare money or spending money, I would go there, and almost every time I'd think, right, well, what do I have? And I try and work out like, what are the essentials of being a witch? What do I need? And just as time went on, every time I went, I got a little something else, and another book and some crystals. So it kind of went like that, book, tool, crystals, until, like, you know, I got older and people would give me things or buy me things as gifts because they could clearly see I was interested. So I've been living on the Isle of Wight now for about 3 years. And this place is in Portsmouth, which is a boat ride away. Well, 2 trains, 2 boats if you're including coming, no, so a train, then a boat, then a bus. So that's what I had to do to get there. And we've gone through a really hard time lately. I'm not putting this out as a sad tale or anything like that, although it has been really difficult, and this is just one of those things that happens to, apparently, I think it's 1 in 4. So we were 3 months pregnant and very, very happy about it. It was planned, and we're moving in together, like buying a house and doing all these things. They're all things that are going to be happening before Christmas. And unfortunately, you know, we lost that pregnancy about a week and a half ago, something like that. It's a bit of a blur, and I have been in a terrible kind of place. It's a very personal, sad, hard journey. I don't really know how to describe it. It is singular. That's the one thing I could think. So singular. But I just had this calling. I was like, I need to do something. I need to get out of this house. I need to have some time, you know, to do something. I need to do something for me. I need to work on me. And I decided, I recently bought the Moonchild Tarot, and it didn't work with me at all. It was like, it just clashed with me, and I was like, you're so pretty, why? You know, I was so upset. I was like, you beautiful, beautiful bitch, why won't you love me back? And I hated it. I couldn't work with it, and it really made me sad. I didn't hate it. I hated the feeling of not being able to connect. So I sold it. And when that notification came through on my phone, I thought, oh, I've got a bit of extra money. It's not a lot, but if I put it with some other money and stuff that I had put aside, I was like, I can go back to Portsmouth and go to my favourite shop and do what I've never done, and that is buy a tarot deck for myself in person. I've been gifted them, I've bought them online, I've done swaps, and I've never once walked into a shop and bought one. And I thought, if I'm going to go anywhere, it's going to be the one place that fills me with light. It's like my dream job would be to work there, but I don't think I'd get much done. I'd be too busy reading and touching things. I went there, and I went with my ex-stepdaughter. We're still very close because I've known her since she was 12. She's now 20. And we went together. She met me off the boat, and then we got on the bus together, and we went to Aristia, which is what it's called. It's gorgeous. If you want to see pictures, look on the Hermit's Cave. And they have this huge glass cabinet of tarot decks, and I went over and I had a look, and immediately I saw the deck I wanted, and I had no idea why, because they had all these beautiful decks, modern decks, old decks, all in these gorgeous boxes and sets and things like that. And I saw, and I should have probably brought it over, so I'm gonna go get it. Hold on just a minute. I'll show you my little haul. Oh, there it is. I could not get into that cabinet. Sorry guys, I'm back now. So yeah, I went and I saw this deck, and it is the Aquarian Tarot, which I've seen images of and always liked. I never really looked into it, and they had 2 copies. And they had a lovely, pristine, beautiful copy of the Aquarian Tarot, and all the other decks were in perfect condition, and my eyes zoomed in on this one, and it is the biggest state of a box that you have ever seen. Look, well, maybe not. It's missing this part. It won't stay closed when the deck's in. It just falls straight out, and it's all taped here, and it's all coming off. Anyway, I saw this. The cards inside were still sealed. They were perfect. And I said to the woman, I said, can I have a look at the Aquarian Tarot? And she opened it up, and I said, at first I thought, oh, is that one that people look through? And I said, is that a deck that people look through? Because the box that's been open, the box is, you know, a bit roughed up. And she went, no, I don't know why it's like that. She said, I hadn't noticed. And she just went to put it back in the back or take it away. And I can't remember, but I remember going, no, I want that one. And she's holding this really nice copy going, really? And I was like, yeah, I do actually. I think I want that one. I think I'm supposed to have that one. She was like, I think you are. and she rung it up and knocked a few quid off. And I mean, I could have got it way cheaper on Amazon, but you got to help these little businesses, and it's my favorite place. So I bought the Aquarian Tarot, and it is beautiful. I've never ever, it feels like my first deck. And I didn't really have a first deck. Well, I must have done, but I think it was just a Rider-Waite that someone gave me, and I looked through it once, and it was like bright, it was too yellow and I didn't get on with it. So this is just your regular Aquarian Tarot. It's got this weird, you can see like layers to the cards. It's amazing. It's got this really pretty sheen. They're not glossy. and you can see like the white shines and then the inks, it looks like it's layered. It's so pretty. Anyway, I did some research on it, and it turns out the artist had passed away, I think it was this year, on my birthday, and that was really, really sad. And you know, I think I vaguely remembered hearing about it, but I did some research on this deck, and the Aquarian tarot is all to do with you know, that kind of hippie era. It was made in 1970, like the age of Aquarius and all that. And I like my favorite music, everything, Woodstock, that whole kind of, yeah, the whole era. I absolutely adore it. I always have. I had no idea that, look at this Five of Pentacles, isn't that beautiful? The clouds. Anyway, I had no idea. It's so 70s. I had no idea. I had no idea that this deck was based around that sort of time, because you look at the box and you don't initially think 70s. Well, I mean, you turn it around, yes you do, you know, like, look at this. Oh god. So I bought that deck. It feels like my first ever deck, and now I have been searching desperately for one of the vintage editions. Like, I think there's a couple floating about, and I am desperate to get my paws on them, or one of them at least, you know. Anyway, I bought another couple of things while I was there. I've picked up crystals and they've fallen. Okay, so I got watermelon tourmaline. You can't really see it in this light, but it's very, no, you can't see it. It's green and purple. And a lovely little piece of smoky quartz, which, oh, you can see that. And it's just so cute. It's like a little point. Love it. So I always get a couple of crystals when I go in there. They're always crystals that I don't already have, which is how I've built up my collection. I go, what don't I have? And I look around the little baskets. You can take a little basket and fill them with crystals, and then you take it up to the counter. It's really cute. Because of, you know, everything I've been going through, I picked up, I don't know if this is going to be backwards. I don't think it will. Women Who Run with the Wolves, and I need to feel strong. I need to feel feminine, and I need to, you know, just take on these feelings and manage them in a good way. Also, I picked up a copy of the Pagan Dawn. I don't know if anyone's heard of this. You get them in a lot of metaphysical stores. I recently thought to myself that I might leave my teaching job. Eventually, I'm thinking of doing that. Because I wanted to go back to writing. And I emailed Pagan Dawn, and I emailed Spirit and Destiny, which was a bit of a, for me, because they're not my favourite, but you know, you need to take writing where you can. And I emailed Spirit and Destiny, Wicca and Witchcraft magazine. There's another one. Anyway, they've all got back to me and said they would accept articles from me if I wanted to write some, and short stories. So I will probably do that. So I had to pick up a copy of Pagan Dawn because I really wanted to read through the sort of thing that they do anyway. So yeah, I had a lovely little journey, and this deck has just, it feels like my first tarot deck. It feels like my last tarot deck. I've never had that before. This death card is incredible. See? Oh, that's not usually what most people say when they talk about death, is it? Oh, no, it's so pretty. And I love this Two of Cups. It's so 70s. It's so hippie-ish, and just makes me think of, you know, my favorite song, which is like Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'm into, and I just couldn't believe that this deck was just out there around that time. So yeah, definitely after a vintage version. If anyone knows of any going, or if you're selling one or want to swap or something, just, you know, comment please, because I'm desperate for a copy. I just feel like, yeah, this is my deck. It's my soul deck, maybe. No, I think it is. I think it is. And I can say that now. I've even been doing all the weird things like wrapping it in silk and all that sort of stuff that I don't normally do with tarot cards, because I find them like old-fashioned and kind of weird traditions, and I don't really follow them. But with this deck, I've just been doing them just like randomly without even thinking about it, and I'm like, I love this deck. Anyway, I wanted to jump on and say hello to everybody because I haven't in so long, and I hope I can upload this because yeah, I've been having trouble doing that on my phone lately. But anyway, I love you all. You are excellent, and thank you for tuning in. I'll speak to you soon.